Alright, everybody, late video. Sorry about that. My analytics site hasn't been up all day, so I've had to use a couple of my alternative ones, which I'm not as big on because they don't quite give me, basically, I look at between 5 and 10 key stats when I'm doing my prop bets or my overall gambling each day, depending on the team, the play, whether it's a player, a goalie, a forward, a hitter, a pitcher, a wide receiver, quarterback, defensive player, whatever it may be. There's 5 to 10 key stats I look at, and I give you guys 3 of those key stats that I use in my videos. But unfortunately, the main site I use for that is not up today. For some reason, it's not updating. It's still trying to give me yesterday's stats. So I've used 2 of my alternative ones, which I'm not as big on, but here we go. I'm playing them. Dylan Strome, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's hit this 7 of 10, averaging 2.5 per game. He averages 1.82 per game on the year. Minus 165 Hard Rock bet. Cole Caulfield, over 2.5 shots on goal. He averages 2.93 per game this season. 6 of his last 10 he's covered, averaging 2.9 per game. Minus 125 on Hard Rock bet. Nick Suzuki, over 1.5 shots on goal. He averages 2.1 per game on the season. He's covered this number 8 of his last 10, averaging 2.2, minus 235 on the score. If you want to get a little brave, you can go Nick Suzuki over 2.5 shots on goal for plus money, plus 140 on Ballybet. I'm debating on putting a half unit on that. I'm not sure. Cole Perfetti, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 1.75 per game on the year. 7 of his last 10 he's covered, averaging 2 per game. Minus 161 on Botano. First 3 were obviously the Montreal-Washington series, so you guys know that Perfetti plays for Winnipeg. Alex Iafallo, obviously from Winnipeg, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 1.35 on the season. Covered this number 6 of his last 10, averaging 2.2 per game. He had 3 shots on goal in game 1. Minus 125 on Ballybet. Kyle Connor, also of Winnipeg Jets, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 3.28 per game on the year. He's hit this number 5 straight, 8 of his last 10, averaging 3.5 per game. He had 5 shots on goal in game 1, minus 164 on Ballybet. Mark Scheifele, Winnipeg as well, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.2 per game on the year. 9 of his last 10, he's covered this number, averaging 3.1. 2 shots on goal in game 1, minus 185 on Casumo. Robert Thomas, he plays for St. Louis, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.07 on the year. He's covered the 7 of his last 10, averaging 1.8 per game. He had 2 shots on goal in game 1, minus 161 on Botano. Jordan Kyrou, also of St. Louis, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.93 on the season. He's hit the number 8 of his last 10, averaging 3.6 per game. He had 4 shots on goal in game 1, minus 110 on 3 ET. On to Dallas and Colorado. Mason Marchment, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.17 on the year. Hit this number 7 of his last 10, averaging 2.2 per game. He had 3 shots on goal in game 1, minus 120 on Hard Rock bet. Tyler Seguin, also of Dallas, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.33 per game on the year. 7 of his last 10, he's covered the number, averaging 2.4. He had 3 shots on goal in game 1, minus 185 on Ballybet. Kevin Fiala, on to the LA Edmonton series, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 3.1 on the season, 3.01 per game on the season, sorry. He's hit this number 7 of his last 10, averaging 3.7 per game. He had 8 and 4 shots on goal versus Edmonton in the 2 games they played each other during the regular season in April. Minus 135 on Casumo. And Adrian Kempe, also of LA, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.93 per game on the season. 7 of 10, he's hit the number, averaging 3.1 per game. He had 6 shots on goal, and holy fuck, I can't read my writing. He had 6 and 3 shots on goal against Edmonton in their 2 meetings in April, so right at the last week and a half of the season. I believe it was like April 5th and April 14th or 15th, something like that, when these two teams played a pair of games. Minus 140 on Hard Rock Bet. Victor Arvidsson, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's averaging 2.36 per game on the year. Cover this number, 6 of 10, averaging 3.3 per game. He had 5 and 4 shots on goal versus LA in them same 2 games in April. Plus 148 on ESPN bets. Basketball, this is where I really don't like not having my site that I find my favorite. OG Anunoby over 22.5 points and rebounds, minus 120 on Bet365. OG Anunoby over 17.5 points, minus 115 on Hard Rock Bet. And OG over 24.5 points, assists, and rebounds, minus 115 on Bet365. I think he's getting between 20 and 25 points on the night, and the rest will come in the rebounds and assists. Tobias Harris, I think he comes back with another good game for Detroit. Over 22.5 points, assists, rebounds, minus 115 on Bet365. And over 14.5 points, minus 110 on Betano. I think he gets 17, 18, 20 points on the night tonight again. And Aaron Gordon, over 23.5 points, assists, and rebounds, minus 118 on Ballybet. Sides I'm on: Denver Nuggets, plus 102 on Rebet. Montreal Canadiens, plus money, plus 166 on Novig. And another Canadian team in the NHL, Edmonton Oilers, get it done in LA, plus 121 on 3ET.